Good morning and welcome to the Marks Group presents GoldMine Mass Emailing. Today we're going to talk about how to mass email out of GoldMine, and this actually requires us to look at a few different things in GoldMine, all standards that we already should kind of be a little comfortable with anyway. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we'll be learning today, hopefully. We're going to learn how to create a filter or a group when we mass email out of GoldMine. It wants to know who's going to get the email, so that is going to take the form of a filter or a group. And we're going to also create our email template. Once we have our group or filter created, we're going to go ahead and create our email template. And finally, I'm going to show you how to send that email template in chunks so you don't get branded as a spammer. So let's go ahead and jump right into some GoldMine. Hey, look at that. So the first thing we want to do is create a filter or a group. Well, I'm going to take one step back. The first thing we want to do is look at what GoldMine expects from us as far as mass emailing. This is relatively easy to do. To mass email out of GoldMine, we're going to go on to Actions and down to Begin Email Merge. All right, so this is how I know what I have to do beforehand before I mass email out of GoldMine. I need to know what template, and there are no templates listed. Oh my goodness. There's also going to be a recipient. We can't even get there until we create our template. We're going to take things in a bit of a different order though. First thing we want to do is create a filter or a group. Now the best thing about the new GoldMine is the Search Center is how we create filters and groups. So let's just take a very simple filter. Okay, so the difference between a filter and a group is thus. A filter is a question we ask of the database. Who is in Pennsylvania? Who is in New York? So on and so forth. A group is like a list that we put together by hand. So the people on the group list need not have anything in common with each other, whereas the filter, everyone needs to have a common denominator, and I'll show you here. So if I start searching in GoldMine, and by the way, did you know this? You can shortcut your searches in GoldMine by double-clicking on the field label. So if I want to start searching by record type, I simply click on the words record type. There we go. Now I'm searching for everybody who is a customer. So maybe I want to look at everyone who is a customer, but that's not enough. I want to look at other people in the database. So I want to add something to my search. And the way we do this in the Search Center is we hit the plus button over here, and you'll see that that's going to actually add levels to our search. And I'm not sure if there is a limit. Pretty much the sky's the limit. So we want to add a level to our search. So we want to say the, oops, that's the wrong field. Our record type should equal customer, and oh, you know what? That's showing the wrong label. All right, I'm going to fix that really quick. There we go. Wasn't the label after all. My GoldMine's just a little confused, and that never happens, right? Okay, so we're going to look at record type is equal to customer, and let's say, I'll say or. So you can change the connector to be ands or ors, and of course that works as you might expect it to. So I want to say I want all of my customers, or I want everybody in state is equal to Pennsylvania. So on and so forth. And now the best thing about this is that once you add all of the levels to your search, once you're satisfied with the list of folks you want to email to, we're going to save that as a filter. And the way we do that is we go to the Save button here and Save as Filter. So you want to look at this as kind of like saving your search. So if you do a lot of complex searches in GoldMine, this is a really nice way to actually have filters be useful for you. You know, back in the day, before we were able to create filters with the Search Center, it was really cumbersome. So in this case, we want to save our search, and we're going to call this, I recommend always name your filters explicitly. You want to be very detailed about what the filter is showing you in case another user wants to use it. So I'm going to say customers or PA for email. Now, when you create a filter or a group or a template or pretty much anything in GoldMine, it is attached to a user. So you'll see here that I'm creating this filter in my user area. Now, if I want other folks to be able to have access to that filter, what I'd like to do here is change that user to public. All right. And because this is a brand new user account, I get all these alerts. I can go ahead and just say, do not show me again, and OK. So for whatever reason, whenever you save a search as a filter, whenever you save a filter, rather, GoldMine will pop this Documents tab open for you. It says, oh, you saved the filter. You must want to do something with a document. Not always. I just want to let you know that is why that's happening to you. So I'd like to go where I'd like to go. Thank you very much, GoldMine. So again, we have our filter that we saved here. And by the way, if you're in your search center, you can see your filters here by clicking the Filters/Groups button. So you can see here your filters actually become very powerful. And if you'll recall, we saved our filter under Public. So right now I'm looking at the filters of Justin. Let me get my divider over there. So if I want to look at other people's filters, I'm going to go ahead and click on that and change the user to Public. Oh, there's my filter that I just created. Even better, you can recall your old filters by simply double-clicking on them. Now, when you do this, GoldMine kind of likes to freak out a little bit. Don't worry about it. Just say, don't show me again, and hit no. I just want to show you that you're able to actually view the contents of your filter or group right from the Search Center. Let's go ahead and move on, however. One thing I will note before we move on is whenever you preview or look at a filter in the Search Center, it puts the Search Center into this weird preview mode. If you want to get it out of that, what you want to do is you want to right-click and release preview. Or you can actually just close and reopen the Search Center. It works just the same way. All right, so we're actually on to... Let's see if I can't get my... Creating our email template. Couple of different ways to do this. I'm going to show you how to create the template within GoldMine, and I'll also show you how you can import an HTML template from, say, like Word. So what we'd like to do here is go into our Documents tab. The way we bring that up is we're going to go to, oh, wrong window, Justin, go to Document Templates. And you'll see here, always keep in mind that when we're thinking about filters or groups or document templates, it's attached to a user. And right now we're looking at the public area, and that's fine. So we want to create a new email template, and as you might expect, the way we do that in GoldMine, we're going to right-click on it and select New, like everything else in GoldMine. Okay, so this is the email template creator in GoldMine. So the first thing we want to do is give this a subject line. Now the subject line will be the name of the template, and it will also be the subject line of the email that the end user gets. So keep that in mind. So in this case, we want to say we're still open for business, and that's fine. And now what we have to do is we have to click this rich text checkbox, and what that's going to do for us is give us a little more control over what we can put in the template. You'll see here that clicking that gives me my rich text toolbar, and that should look relatively familiar to you all. You have things like font controls, colors, justification, and we'll look at the images and stuff over here in just a moment. So the idea is now to go ahead and create your template. It could be the idea behind a GoldMine template is to be able to embed values from the contact record into the actual email template itself. So we want to say, for example, Dear, and we want to have this be the first name of whoever it's sending to, right? So what we want to do is we want to insert a GoldMine field, and the way we do that is click the Insert Field button here. And these are all of the things that we can insert. And I go to Contact Details, and I can select First Name, ba-bum. So what this is here is this ampersand first name encapsulated with these greater than less thans. That's a field code. So that will generate the first name value of every contact record within our filter when we go to send our mass email. So we want to treat this as though it was the first name. So we say Dear space first name, comma. and then whatever other text you'd like to have. So just oops. Or something along those lines. Spell check is an important thing. And then go ahead and put in a signature, whatever you'd like to have. You get the idea. So what we're going to do right now is we want to save this template just in case the computer explodes or GoldMine decides to lock up. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Okay, so here's the other weird thing is that whenever you save a template, GoldMine thinks you automatically want to send it via mass email. In this case, we don't. So we're going to just go ahead and cancel out of this. I want to show you what are the ways you can test your email template really easy. If you go to any contact record with an email address and you start to write an email to the contact record. So the way you do that is you click the email hyperlink here. And when you do this, the subject line is now a drop-down list of all of your email templates. So you can go ahead and select the template from here and you can see how that template would look against that contact record. So it will pull in all the values of all the field codes for you. You'll be able to see what's going on there or what it will be like when the end user, or when the recipient rather, gets the email. Now let's go back to our email template and we want to edit it. We want to change it up a little bit. So we're going to right click on the template and select edit. And okay, so now if we're talking about inserting hyperlinks or pictures, we're going to do that with these buttons over here. And say, please do not hesitate to email and now I can put in a hyperlink to an email. And the way you do this is you put in the text you'd like to have actually be the link. And to convert this to a hyperlink, we just select the text here. And we click the little planet with the chain link there. That's what that is. And because it thinks it's an email address, it already kind of knows what we want to do with it. But the hyperlink, in this case, would be a mail to, and then the email address, for example. But we could even say, if you have any questions or comments, we could make that a hyperlink and hyperlink that to our website. And make sure that's an HTTP, and okay. So that works as any other hyperlink would. Now, when you go to insert images, it becomes a little more problematic. So we want to put in our company logo. One of the first things anyone wants to do with this, right? So what you want to do is insert picture. And when you do this, it's going to let you browse your hard drive for a picture, right? And we're able to put in whatever picture we'd want. Now, what that's going to do is that when you send this email out, okay, let me just pick a random image here. Now, when you send this email to everybody in your filter or group, because you linked this image via a file somewhere on your network or somewhere on your hard drive, it will leave a little attachment on every contact record of that image, and then it will embed that image into the email template for the recipient to see. Now, if you don't want that to junk up your document links tab for every contact, and that's what ends up happening. Every time you send an email to these people, any inline image in that email template ends up is a linked document on that contact record. If you want to prevent that from happening, you actually have to make your picture source the actual image source from the internet. So if I wanted to use my company's logo, I'm going to bring up my Chrome here, bear with me. So if I wanted to use this image here, if I don't want that to leave itself as a file attachment in GoldMine, I want to use this image on the internet. And the way I do that is I want to right click on that image on the web page, and I say copy image address. And now I paste that into my picture source here. Now keep in mind, you may not be able to do this with like any old picture out there on the internet, because sometimes you don't have access to the actual this folder structure here. So you typically won't have a problem if you're linking your own company's logo. Typically, your webmaster can tell you exactly where to go to get those sources. But again, this is only important if you want to prevent GoldMine from leaving a file attachment on the contact record. We'll go ahead and insert that. That's kind of what that looks like. And we can save that. And hopefully you get the idea. So now we actually have... Oh, my little thing went away. Ah, that's too bad. Now we're going to send our email template. And we're going to send it to that filter. Now this is actually the easiest part of the whole... Well, let me back up one step. I'm going to show you... I wanted to show you how to create an email template from like HTML out of Word. Now the way you do that is you go ahead and create a new email template. And remember, the subject is the name of the template, and it's also going to be what the recipient will see. So it's kind of still open. Hooray. And we want to enable that rich text, HTML. And what we want to do here is that if we have an HTML document, say in Word, what we'd want to do then, let me go ahead and get Word started. So if you have a document in Word, you want to convert to a GoldMine template, what you do is in Word, you want to go Save As. You want to save it as a web page. I think it's been a while, guys. Bear with me. I want to just call this GM template. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Alright, so now on my desktop, let me just double check this before we go looking and can't find nothing. Bear with me, guys. Oh boy. Very good. Okay, so that has created an HTML document on my desktop. So now, what we want to do, bear with me, I mean, this is all going somewhere. We want to actually open that HTML document. We want to get the text out of that document, is basically what we're after. The way that I do that is I open up the document in Notepad. And I'll show you what that looks like here. This is what that HTML, that Word document I just showed you, this is what that looks like as HTML. I just opened that in Notepad, and what you want to do here is copy the text from here. Copy it all, like Control A to select all the text. And you copy, and you go into GoldMine, and you want to hit this little H button here, and that will make that into HTML. So the idea here now is to paste that HTML into there as the HTML, and then you unclick the button to go back to normal view, and there's your Word document, the HTML out of your Word document. So of course the Word document can be a lot prettier than a GoldMine email template, so this is going to allow you to use Word to create your email template and then import it into GoldMine using the method that I just showed you. Okay, moving right along. We want to actually send the template to our folks. This is the easiest part. We want to go to Actions, Begin Email Merge. We're going to select our template. You will recall our template is under Public, and we're still open for business. You bet we are. Now we want to go to the Recipient tab. We want to select all contacts in the following filter or group. And you'll recall that was also in the public area. And that was customers that was a contact type as customers or state as PA for email. And this is very important. When you go to send this, I'm assuming your lists are going to be a lot longer than what we're seeing here. So you want to be careful about sending too many emails out of your email server at any given time. A general rule of thumb is about 500 a day is usually a good place to start. So to prevent this thing from just sending out all the emails at once, we want to select Queue for delivery. This is very important because when we do that, our little process monitor will go off, and what we have now, if we go to our email center, in our outbox, we now have all of the pending emails that represent the template to each person in that filter or group. And now the way we're going to send them is we send them from here. Simply, we can actually right-click on any one of these and select Send, or you can range select, being you hold down the Shift key, so we select the first thing in our first item in our range. Now we hold down the Shift key and select like that. So that will help you get chunks. So you can be able to send 25 or 50 at a time. Depending upon your email provider, you may have issues being labeled as a spam. You're going to want to check with your email provider to see what is your limit, if there is in fact a limit. Again, a good general rule of thumb is around 500 a day-ish. So again, once you're ready to send, you want to just right-click in here and send. And the thing is, my GoldMine, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because my Outmail isn't going to work for this presentation. But just to give you an idea, once you send them out of the outbox, they'll disappear from the outbox, and then they will appear in the History tab of the corresponding contact record. So again, we have a couple of different things we have to do to mass email out of GoldMine. We have to create the filter. Remember, we do that via the Search Center. And that was as easy as adding levels to our search and then saving it as a filter. And then there was actually creating the template, and that was under Go To, Document Templates, and then right-click on our email template and select New. And remember, our subject line is what the customer will see. So make it nice. And now that we have our template and our filter, again, we want to go ahead and email that, or queue that for delivery rather, with Actions, Begin Email Merge. We select our template. We select our recipient, being all contacts from the following group. Now, keep in mind, when you select this, all contacts from the following filter or group, what does that say? It defaults to all contact records. So unless you want all the contact records to get this email template, you have to select a filter or a group. And again, depending upon where you save that filter, it may not be immediately viewable here. So we want to select the filters of here and go to the public area. And there it is. And again, very important, we want to queue for delivery. And OK. And now on our email center, we now have a bunch more outbox items. Same people are getting a different template now. So, and again, you want to email right around 500-ish a day, but you really want to check with your email provider and make sure you're going to be within the guidelines of that. Otherwise, they'll list you as a spammer, and you won't be able to send any mail at all. What fun that will be. So that kind of wraps it up. So again, this was mass emailing out of GoldMine. My name is Justin Hill. You can reach me at Justin, that's Justin, at marksgroup.net. I would love to hear your questions or comments. Thanks so much, and have a great day.